pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
Hello, Savvy investors out there. Yes, this is Stephen Van Kallenberg, your host, the Savvy Landlord. And today we're going to talk about 12 steps for the Savvy Negotiator Investor. Hopefully that's you. If you're not an investor and you tuned in, you might want to just hit the next button. No, I'm just joking. It doesn't matter if you're an investor or not an investor. Whatever you are, you're negotiating. If you have children, you're negotiating with children. If you're negotiating, with yourself internally, should you get up in the morning early and go work out? You're negotiating when you say, I'll just sleep for 10 more minutes. For whatever the case may be in your life, we're all negotiators. But the goal of this episode today is to be a savvy negotiator as an investor. So here we go with the 12 action steps to help you negotiate your next deal. Here we go. Number 1, decide on your starting position. Basically, what's your bottom line or your lowest number you will accept for the deal? You know, when I go into the negotiation deal concept or whatever, I realize what's my bottom dollar? What's the amount that I'm willing to let go of, or what I'm willing to accept? I work with a lot of realtors, and one great realtor, his name is Dutch, and he said, what's the number that will make you happy? And what's the number that will get frustrated if you got outbidded? And then decide on a number. So that's number 1, is to decide what is your starting position. Number 2, get in the right mindset. You got to check your ego at the door. I mean, seriously, you've got to just lay it down. There's sometimes I've negotiated with people that I'm not a fan of. I don't like them. They don't like me. But I leave my ego at the door. I always try to focus on, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to acquire this asset. Am I trying to win favor in a situation, or even in a courtroom when I walk in and I have to deal with a legality issue on a property? What is my goal? What's my mindset? I just focus on what I'm trying to get accomplished. Number 3, be prepared for your negotiations early. Determine your motives and your objectives. Why are we negotiating? And be prepared to do it. Don't try to hide away from it. Well, I'll take care of it later. Be prepared. So that's number 3. Number 4, boom, one of my favorites, gather all the information as possible. I love this aspect. I love to go on a property and take as many pictures. I love to do pull comps. I try to gather as much information. Why are they selling the property? Is this a probate? Did they pass away? Are they giving it away? Is this a trust situation? Are they paying their taxes on time? I gather as much. Number 4, gather as much information as you can about the opposing person. And not in an attackful way, like they're good and bad, I'm opposing you, but the person that you're negotiating. Your goal is to get the lowest price, and your goal is to hopefully make it a win-win. And sometimes you have a lower price because you're solving a problem for them. But the individual may not understand why you're offering such a low price per se. And that's what you got to do, is that you got to gather the information, improve the price. Number 5, motivation. Consider your opposite parties and their motivation and what they're doing. What's their why? Why are they negotiating? Why are they selling the property? I've been working on this class that's coming up at the end of the month, and I was just practicing my negotiating skills and just recently purchased a property, and I offered this number, a lower number. Well, let me just say the actual numbers. The property was $25,000. It's a smoking deal in itself, and I was already willing to pay $25,000 in my mind. Now, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I write books and I speak on the radio show and I teach classes. So I try to test and prove all that I regurgitate, get out and lay out before my friends in the Savvy classes. And so I was like, I said to the realtor, would you consider $22,000? And I kind of knew that they were motivated, and because I gathered as much information as I can as I was walking through the property. So why is she selling? How long have you had the listing? Where is this going? And, how I got this. And I said 22,000, and I, covered, basically I wanted to be all in at 25 with closing costs and any kind of quick repairs and so forth. And she fired back with 22.5. I said, yes, let's close. And boom, we closed. But I figured out what their emotional motivation is. That's number 5. Number 6, on another deal, you want to present the facts that are based in quantifiable data. And how I do that is I actually, if I'm negotiating a deal and they give me any kind of blowback, I'll just send them a appraisal that I just recently did, maybe around the corner, or maybe even 6 months ago, or even a year ago. I take pictures, and then on those pictures, I quantify the information or verify that it's going to cost $2,500 to redo this bathroom, since there's all this rotten damage on the floor around the toilet, and all the water was leaking down on the walls around the tub. So I present the facts, and I love to present the facts visually. I also like to present the facts on a spreadsheet or itemized, and then boom. Then in my mind, I play it out. Number 7 is a sequence. How's this going to play out? If I make the offer for 22, is she going to offer 24? Every time I submit an offer, I'm assuming that they're going to have a counter offer. And depending if it's a HUD or a repo, I may not get any traction, but I always try to work out the sequence. If they say, if I offered, say, I'm trying to buy a property at $100,000 and I offer 75 and they come back with 98, which is notorious for a HUD foreclosure, you might want to reply back with a different number, but also you pay closing. So I try to run through the sequence in my mind, and I play it out like chess. How many moves am I going to take? So when I go into the negotiation deal, I figure out what's the concessions that I can swap out or move in. All right, number 8, communicate. Pretty simple. It rhymes with 8. It's going to donate. Communicate. You got to be persuasive. When you present a lowball offer or any type of offer, communicate the reasons why, your tone of voice, your body language. When they come back with an offer, when the realtor, I offered 22, and she came back with an offer, I flinched and I kind of buckled over, and I was like, and then I had a pause. It's like a game. And then I said, okay, I can do that. So when you're communicating, think about you're communicating with your body, with your physical, the way you hold your hips, the way you bend over and flinch, your smile, your scowl, your eyebrows, all that stuff is communication. So when you're negotiating, especially in person, remember your communication. Number 9, negotiate. That's what we're doing. So you did all this stuff 1 through 8 before we even got to the negotiation. Do your best offer. And after you got all this data, what's their personality, where they're coming from, what's their motivation, then negotiate a best offer. Go back and forth. Be strong and try not to be emotional. Number 10, the impact. Anticipate that when I submit an offer that's like they're trying to sell a property for $100,000 and I offer 40, anticipate blowback. Then I'm working on a deal right now, and I submitted an offer, and they were like, blank no. And I was like, okay, no, hey, no big deal. You'll come to your senses. And I sent them photos and rehab costs, and and so then I put it in my calendar, and 30 days later, I'm going to follow up with it with another offer. So anticipate a positive or a negative response, but be prepared and anticipate the impact of the offer that you're going to send or receive. Number 11, ask for the close. I mean, you know this well enough, hopefully, that you're listening to this and that you have some real estate skill or some negotiating skill, because you're married, right? Or you're not married, or you're dating someone, or you're thinking about dating someone. You got to ask. You can't get married unless you ask her out. So number 11, ask for the close. What up, girl? Can we get together and have some coffee? Or can we close on the 15th? Or what's the best time for you to close? So number 11, ask. In the sales community, you ask for the sale or always be closing, ABC. Okay. Number 12, the last one of the day. Here it is. You must follow up. There's so many deals that go by the wayside because the realtor forgot to call you back. And I've lost deals based on that, and it's very frustrating. I submitted a legitimate offer. It's a great offer. I knew they would take it. They did take it, but the realtor forgot to respond, and another realtor swooped on in and got the deal. That was very frustrating, and this is just the nature of the beast of working with human beings. We're all going to make mistakes. It's not just like eBay. You put in a number and boom, you get the property. And there is auction.com and Hubzu, and there's multiple ways to buy property. But no matter what, even if I buy property through auction.com, I follow up. When are we going to close? When do we need to close? Is there going to be clear title? When's the title going to be ready? When can I get title insurance? What protection do I have? Where's my insurance? I email my insurance guy when I'm about to close and I need the deck sheet. Usually the bank requires you to have insurance. Where's that at? Make sure when you're negotiating, and in life and in general, in all aspects, make sure you follow up. Anyway, that's it. 12 steps for the savvy negotiator. Hopefully you got some nugget out of that deal. If you didn't get any nugget out of that deal, I'm sorry. No, you can come to the class. It's October 29th. I would love for you to come out and check it out and meet you and learn from you as well. And whatever you do, go out and buy assets.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at savvyradioshow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook and always be buying assets.